At the beginning of this movie, we meet a young boy named Pelle, who is just trying to get through 7th grade. He keeps to himself most days, sits alone at lunch, and does not really talk to many people. He has a crush on a girl in his class called Amanda. She is confident, popular, and always surrounded by friends. To Pelle, she feels completely out of reach. She does not even know he exists. One afternoon, Pelle is sitting up on the school roof eating an apple when he notices 2 bigger kids bullying a boy named Wilhelm down below. Pelle does not want to just sit there and do nothing, so he throws his apple down at the bullies. It hits one of them in the head. They look up, see Pelle, and immediately start running after him. Pelle jumps up and takes off. He sprints through hallways and cuts through alleyways until he ends up near an old house that looks completely abandoned. The bullies lose him and give up. Pelle catches his breath and starts walking home. That is when he feels something crawling on his leg. He looks down and sees a small ant moving up toward his neck. Before he can brush it off, the ant bites him. The pain is sharp and strange. His vision starts to blur. Everything around him goes fuzzy. Just before he passes out, he sees the shadow of a man standing nearby, but he cannot make out who it is. Pelle collapses right there on the ground. Later that night, Pelle wakes up weak and confused, lying in the bushes near the abandoned house. He struggles to his feet and slowly makes his way home. When he walks through the door, his mom asks where he has been and why he is so late. He lies and tells her he was just out playing with some friends. She says dinner is ready, but Pelle is not hungry. He goes straight to his room and falls asleep. While he sleeps, he has weird dreams. Ants are everywhere, crawling over his arms, his face, covering his whole body. In the middle of the night, he wakes up and walks into the kitchen without even realizing it. He opens the fridge and starts eating chocolate bars one after another, barely aware of what he is doing. The next morning, he wakes up confused. There are wrappers all over his bed and chocolate smeared on his hands and face. He has no memory of eating anything. At breakfast, things get even stranger. He reaches for a carton of milk, and when he grabs it, the carton sticks to his palm like glue. He pulls and twists, but it will not let go. His dad has to help him yank it off. A minute later, Pelle picks up a glass of juice, and without meaning to, he crushes it in his hand. The glass breaks into pieces. His dad just laughs it off, and says the glass must have been cracked already, but Pelle knows something is very wrong. At school that same day, the teacher takes the class outside for a physical training session. The students are supposed to practice basic movements and simple sparring drills. At first, Pelle looks weak and awkward. Everyone is watching. Then suddenly, something clicks. He moves fast, way faster than before, and lands a hit on the teacher that sends him stumbling backward. The whole class goes silent. Wilhelm, the boy Pelle helped earlier, is watching closely. After school, Wilhelm walks up to Pelle and asks him straight out if he has some kind of power. Pelle denies it and says he is just a normal kid. But while they are talking, Pelle notices someone watching them from across the street. It is the same man he saw right before he passed out near the abandoned house. The man stares at them for a long moment, then walks away. Pelle feels a chill and quickly heads home. Meanwhile, we see that same man entering the old abandoned house. Inside, he is looking at a newspaper clipping about a man who runs a huge pharmaceutical company called ExoArm. That man is Amanda's father. The next day, Pelle finally tells Wilhelm everything. He explains how the ant bit him, and how ever since that moment, strange things have been happening to his body. He is stronger, faster, and his hands stick to things. Wilhelm listens carefully and does not laugh. Instead, he gets excited. He takes Pelle back to his house, and that is when Pelle realizes Wilhelm is not just some random kid. Wilhelm is smart, really smart. His room is filled with comic books, drawings of superheroes, and notes about powers and abilities. To Wilhelm, this is not weird. This is incredible. He starts running little tests on Pelle to figure out exactly what he can do. After a few experiments, Wilhelm becomes convinced. Pelle has powers, real ones. So Wilhelm makes him a costume, a simple red and black suit, and gives him a name, Ant Boy. To test if the powers actually work in real situations, Wilhelm takes Pelle to a parking lot known for petty crimes. Then Wilhelm leaves him there alone to see what happens. A few minutes later, Pelle hears a woman screaming. A man has just stolen her purse and is running away. Pelle, now wearing the Ant Boy suit, chases after him. He catches up and tells the thief to give the purse back. The thief just laughs. To him, Pelle looks like a kid in a Halloween costume. He tells Pelle to go home before he gets hurt. Pelle backs up, scared. But then the thief notices something strange. Pelle is climbing up the side of a brick wall with no rope, no ladder, nothing. Just his hands and feet sticking to the surface like an insect. The thief freezes. Now he is the one who looks afraid. He tries to run, but Pelle jumps down and grabs him. A few minutes later, the police show up and arrest the guy. Wilhelm arrives right after and asks what happened. Pelle tells him everything and even tries to show off by climbing the wall again, but this time he slips and falls flat on his back. He is completely drained. Wilhelm figures it out immediately. Pelle is out of energy. He hands him a chocolate bar. Pelle eats it, and within seconds he feels strong again. Now it all makes sense. His powers need fuel, lots of it. After that, Wilhelm upgrades the suit and adds a helmet that covers Pelle's entire face, so no one can tell who he is. Over the next few days, Ant Boy starts showing up all over town. He stops a robbery at a convenience store. He helps an old man carry groceries across the street. He even rescues a cat stuck high up in a tree. Word spreads fast. Kids at school start talking about him during lunch and recess. Ant Boy becomes a local hero, especially among the younger students who look up to him. Parents start hearing about this mysterious kid in a mask who helps people. The local news even runs a short segment about him. But while Ant Boy is getting more and more popular, something dark is happening in the background. One night, Amanda is home with her younger sister Ida when a stranger breaks into their house. Amanda screams. Ida runs toward her, but before she can reach her, the man grabs Amanda and drags her out of the house. Ida is left standing there, terrified and helpless. The next day at school, Pell notices that Amanda is missing. He looks around the classroom, but she is nowhere to be found. That makes him uneasy. He cannot shake the feeling that something bad has happened. Later that afternoon, total chaos breaks out during lunch. Students are screaming and pointing up at the roof. There is a boy hanging off the edge of the building, about to fall. Pell does not hesitate. He slips away from the crowd, puts on the suit, and becomes Ant Boy. He climbs the outside wall all the way to the rooftop, moving fast and steady. But when he gets up there, he realizes the boy is not real. It is just a dummy dressed in clothes. Standing next to it is Ida, Amanda's sister. She set the whole thing up just to get Ant Boy's attention. Ida pulls out her phone and shows him a video. In it, Amanda is trapped inside a glass box, looking scared and exhausted. A man's voice says that unless her father pays $20 million and shuts down his company, Amanda will die. The man calls himself the Flea. After watching the video, Ant Boy makes a promise to Ida. He is going to save her sister no matter what it takes. Pelle, still in his suit, brings Ida to Wilhelm's house. Wilhelm is not happy when he sees her. He never wanted anyone else to know about Ant Boy. Keeping a secret identity is the most important rule. But Pell tells him to relax because Ida does not know who he really is under the mask. They focus on figuring out who the Flea is and where he might be keeping Amanda. Ida explains that it might be someone connected to her father's company, someone who wants revenge or has a grudge. While they talk, Ant Boy picks up a faint smell in the air. It is coming from a necklace Ida brought with her, Amanda's necklace. Using his sharp ant-like senses, Ant Boy follows the scent through the streets and alleys. It leads them straight back to the old abandoned house, the same place where Pelle was bitten by the ant. Wilhelm tells them the house used to belong to a woman who died a couple of weeks ago. Pelle tells Wilhelm and Ida to wait outside while he goes in to investigate. He does not want them getting hurt. Inside, the house is filled with lab equipment. There are glass containers holding insects, microscopes, shelves lined with chemicals, and notebooks covered in scientific notes. Someone has been running serious experiments here for a long time. Pell searches deeper into the house, moving carefully through dark hallways and dusty rooms. He finally finds Amanda in a back room. She is locked inside a sealed glass chamber, barely able to move. Her face is pale and she looks weak. But before he can break the glass and free her, someone appears from behind with incredible strength. It is the Flea. He easily overpowers Ant Boy and traps him inside another glass box right next to Amanda. Then the Flea finally reveals who he is and why he is doing all of this. He used to be a scientist working for Amanda's father at the pharmaceutical company called ExoArm. He was brilliant and created vaccines that made the company millions of dollars. One day, he developed an experimental treatment using genetically modified ants. It was designed to cure rare and deadly diseases. His own mother was dying from a serious illness that no other treatment could fix, so he gave her the experimental serum. It worked. She started getting better, her strength returned, and for the first time in months there was hope. But then Amanda's father made a decision that changed everything. He shut the whole project down. The company was losing money on the research, and they could not afford to keep it going. To him, it was just a smart business move. To the Flea, it was his mother's life. Without the treatment, she got sick again. Her condition returned worse than before, and she eventually died. The Flea tried to keep making the serum in secret, working late at night in hidden labs. But when Amanda's father found out, he fired him on the spot. That loss, that anger, that crushing pain, it all turned into something much darker. Now the Flea wants revenge. He wants to destroy everything Amanda's father built. And if he cannot save his mother, then Amanda's father will know exactly what it feels like to lose someone he loves. The Flea keeps talking, his voice filled with bitterness. He explains that during his experiments, he created different versions of the serum using various types of insects. One of those modified ants escaped from the lab, and that is the ant that bit Pell near this very house. That is why Pell has these powers now. But the Flea did not stop there. He perfected the formula, making it stronger and more stable, and then he injected himself with it. Now he has powers too. Strength, speed, agility, and reflexes far beyond any normal human, just like Ant Boy, but even stronger. After hearing all of this, Ant Boy is completely stunned. He never imagined his powers came from something like this. Then the Flea says something that cuts even deeper. He tells Pella that Amanda Amanda does not like him. She only likes Ant-Boy. She only cares about the hero in the mask, not the quiet, awkward kid who sits in the back of the class. He also says that Wilhelm is only friends with Pell because of his powers. Without them, Pell would still be alone. Those words hit hard. For the first time, Pell starts to doubt everything. Outside the house, Wilhelm and Ida have already called the police. When the flea hears the sirens getting closer, he curses under his breath and escapes before they can catch him. The police arrive and free Ant-Boy and Amanda from the glass boxes. Ant-Boy is left behind, physically fine but emotionally shaken and deeply confused. That is when Pelle makes a serious decision. He does not want to be Ant-Boy anymore. He wants to be himself. He wants Amanda to like him for who he really is, not because he wears a mask and saves people. He does not want his friendship with Wilhelm to be built on powers and costumes. He just wants to be a normal kid again. Wilhelm is absolutely crushed when Pell tells him. He argues that Pell has a gift, that he could help so many people, that he could be a real hero and make a difference. But Pell refuses. His mind is made up. The next day at school, everything falls apart in the worst way possible. The flea attacks during the middle of the day. He is looking for Amanda and Ida, determined to finish what he started. Panic spreads through the building as students scream and teachers try to get everyone to safety. Wilhelm runs up to Pelle in the hallway and shoves the mask into his hands. His eyes are desperate. He says they need Ant-Boy right now. But Pelle shakes his head firmly and walks away. He says he is never putting on that suit again. He means it. Wilhelm is heartbroken and angry, but he does not give up. If Pelle will not be the hero, then Wilhelm will do it himself. He puts on the Ant-Boy mask and suit even though he has no powers at all. He goes to face the flea alone, armed with nothing but courage and determination. Wilhelm confronts the flea near the school entrance, trying his best to protect the other students and buy them time to escape. But it does not take long for the flea to realize this is not the real Ant-Boy. The movements are clumsy, the strength is missing. With one quick move, he overpowers Wilhelm easily and drags him away into the nearby forest. When Pell hears that his best friend has been taken and is in serious danger, something deep inside him changes. He may not want to be a hero, and he may not want the attention, but he cannot let Wilhelm get hurt because of him. Without saying a word to anyone, Pell grabs the suit, puts it on one more time, and rides his bike as fast as he can toward the forest where the flea has taken Wilhelm. He gets there out of breath and finds Wilhelm tied up against a tree, bruised but still conscious. Pelle frees him quickly, cutting through the ropes, but then the flea steps out from the shadows. He has been waiting. Pelle and Wilhelm run deeper into the forest, hiding behind trees and rocks, waiting for the right moment to strike. They both know they cannot beat the flea in a straight fight. He is too strong, too fast, and too angry. They need a real plan. While the flea is distracted staring at Pelle, Wilhelm sneaks up quietly behind him and attacks the strange device strapped to his back. It is the thing that boosts and stabilizes his power. The flea suddenly stumbles. His strength begins to fade. His movements slow down. That is the moment Ant-Boy has been waiting for. He charges forward and fights with everything he has left. This time, it is not about being popular or impressing anyone. It is not about Amanda or fame. It is about protecting the people who truly matter to him. After a long and brutal fight, Ant-Boy finally wins. The flea collapses to the ground, exhausted and defeated. It is finally over. The town is safe again. A little while later, Ant-Boy goes to Amanda's house to check on her. She still does not know that Ant-Boy and Pell are the same person. She thanks him with tears in her eyes for saving her life and her family. She looks at him with deep admiration and slowly leans in to kiss him, but Ant-Boy gently steps back. He does not kiss her. Instead, he asks where Ida is. Amanda is confused and a little hurt, but she calls her sister into the room. When Ida arrives, Ant-Boy asks her to make him one very important promise. He asks her never to tell anyone that Pelle is Ant-Boy. Ida smiles softly and agrees. She promises to keep his secret forever. In the final scene of the movie, we see Pelle and Wilhelm together again, just like old times. They are back to being best friends, closer than ever. This time they are talking about improving the suit, making it faster, stronger, and smarter. They sketch out ideas and laugh about their mistakes. Because even though Pelle tried to walk away from being a hero, he knows now that being Ant-Boy is not just something he does when he puts on a mask. It is part of who he truly is deep down, and that is where the movie ends. If you enjoyed this story, drop a comment below and let me know what you think. Do not forget to subscribe for more movie recaps just like this one.